Well, hey, hello, it's me, Keith Cheggers Chegwin. Welcome to me podcast for Cheggers Party Quiz. Hey! Mind you, I shouldn't sound so happy, you know. I've not been very well. No, I had a huge lettuce growing out my backside. Doctor said that's just the tip of the iceberg. Anyway, nice to have your company. Just to let you know, at the end of the podcast, got a little competition for you. Yeah, where you could win a Cheggers Party Quiz. Yeah, either on Nintendo, PC or PlayStation. The choice is yours, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, nice to have your company. Some of you actually may remember me from the old days of Swap Shop. Do you remember Swap Shop? It was a live Saturday morning television show where the whole theme of the programme was swapping kids, games and toys. Sort of like an eBay, really. But I was in charge of the outside broadcasts. Noel Evans, who used to present the show too, along with John Craven, used to shout, "Where are you, Cheggers?" And I'd tell them where I was, you know, either in New York or Manchester or what have you, some rugby ground. And I'd invite kids live to come down and swap on the Saturday morning. And it was amazing the amount of crowds that we'd get. 5,000 kids on a Saturday morning, to be honest with you, in those days was nothing. But mind you, there weren't many TV channels around and not a lot for people to watch on TV. So consequently, we used to get huge viewing figures, around about 7 million people on a Saturday morning. But anyway, I was in charge of the outside broadcast, inviting kids down to swap. And we had some amazing swaps. So I always remember in Hitchin, Hertfordshire, and this kid came down with a radio, fantastic radio. And I swapped it for him for something, I can't remember what, a game or what have you in the crowd. Anyway, at the end of the show, the police came along and they arrested me. Yeah, for swapping stolen goods. The kid had nicked it. We used to get some real characters on a Saturday morning. I don't know whether you know about television, but most television presenters have an earpiece in their ear. So they can listen for timings of how long an item's going to be. The director can say what camera shot he's on and things. And I was there one Saturday morning, and just quietly in my ear, the director said, "Oh my gosh, Keith," he said, "could you just move to your right? There's a kid with a bottle of pale ale drinking it." So I moved to my right, and he went, "Oh my God." He said, "Go back to where you came from. There's a kid with a fag on." So many things used to happen to me on Saturday morning, you know. I always remember I was in the Roman baths in Bath, and I was one of the first people, after I think it was 50 years, to be allowed to actually swim in the spa water, the hot spa water itself. And I, you know, did the item, told everybody where I was in Bath and showed them round and talked about the Romans and talked about the spa itself and finished off by diving into the water. And I dived into the water, and as I did, my trunk slipped off and I showed about 7 million kids my bum. But there are other shows that I used to present that some of you probably won't remember. Cheggers Plays Pop. And that was a sort of like indoor It's a Knockout, combined with the top of the pops. Music and games for kids. But we recorded the whole show in Manchester, and the first ever show that we did, London, never saw the programme before it was actually broadcast. Anyway, it went out at 4:20 on a Monday, and the moment that it went out, the BBC axed the whole show. Yeah, the bosses turned around and said, "This is not what children want. They don't want to see kids running around like bulls in a china shop listening to this appalling music." Anyway, they did have a change of heart because they saw the viewing figures, which got 5 million kids. That's a lot of people watching. And they had a change of mind and kept the show running for another 9 years. Anyway, enough about the past. Yeah, I'll tell you some more little anecdotes in my further podcast in the future. In the meantime, a lot of people have been asking me what sort of games and what sort of consoles we had in the olden days. Well, I personally had an Amstrad, but the prize thing for me, early 80s, I think it was, or just before, was getting an Atari games console. Oh my gosh, that was the B's and E's. Yeah, but all she could play on it was tennis. But coming right up to date, the games that I enjoy now, Tomb Raider. I absolutely love Lara Croft and that game. I can't tell you. I've been through all the scenarios, but I have not managed to collect all the artifacts. And I have been tempted to go on the web and get all the cheats, but I'm not willing to do that because I want to play it fairly and squirrely and get through it. But I really do enjoy your family games. Me, my wife, my little boy, we love getting around our PlayStation or PC and playing some games for the family, like Crash Bandicoot or Shrek. Shrek's a fantastic game because my little boy laughs his head off at it. Anyway, by the way, you can win a Cheggers Party Quiz. Yeah, in time for Christmas. Fingers crossed we get it to you. But if you want to enter the competition, please stipulate on your email whether you want it on PlayStation 2, PC or Nintendo Wii. Okay, you need a question. I thought because of Cheggers Plays Pop and Swap Shop, I thought I'd do something about the 80s. So complete the 1980s hit for Eddie Grant. Electric what? Could it be Avenue, Blanket, Lights, or Ladyland? Okay, complete the 1980s hit for Eddie Grant. Electric what? Avenue, Blanket, Lights, Ladyland. The choice is yours, and then email your answer, along with what sort of format you'd like Cheggers Party Quiz on, to cheggerscomp@oxygengames.net. That's cheggerscomp@oxygengames.net. Okay, good luck to you. Whoever comes out the hat first wins. And also, you can send your emails there too. Okay, give us a call when you've got less time. It's been a real pressure having you here. I'm only joking. Catch you with another blog soon. Wahey!
Cheggers